Good day, people. In this video I want to briefly talk about why it could be very beneficial for you to implement a handstand into your movement practice or to dive into a handstand practice. And very importantly, this is not a try to convince you that a handstand is something that you need in your movement practice. You can have a very well-rounded, holistic and joyful movement practice without ever learning to do a handstand, right? Because this is a trend. On Instagram you see many new people learning a handstand and teaching handstands, and you see handstand pictures all over, and it's become quite popular. And many people then think of that as a thing that you need to be able to do to express yourself fully, to show that you're capable of moving your body and so on and so forth. And let me be clear, you do not need a handstand at all. It is a very nice skill, and in this video I also want to talk about why it could be useful, but that is definitely the main point. You do not need a handstand. I also say this because a friend of mine and I, we created a handstand online course just recently and also launched it recently, and we think it's a great course, but this is not a try to convince you into buying our program, okay? But let's get into it. Why is it or could it be useful for you to work on a handstand? So firstly, while working on a handstand, you also directly work on strength, mostly upper body strength, but also a little bit of strength in your midsection. You work on mobility, mostly once again the ability in your upper body, mainly the ability to extend your shoulders overhead, which is super beneficial. For example, if you have an office job and you're sitting more or less the whole day in this position, the ability to really open up is super nice. And not only the mobility in your shoulders, but also the mobility of your spine. So while these aspects of a handstand practice affect more or less your health, there are also different aspects of a handstand practice that don't have too much to do with physical health, but more like with motivation and mental health and so on. So number one, the handstand is not a skill that you will learn in 1 or 2 sessions or even some weeks, but I can tell you, you will probably not learn how to properly balance a handstand in 6 weeks. So the handstand is a skill that takes quite a while to learn. I often compare it to when kids learn how to stand or how to walk. It takes time, and you will definitely fall down many times, need to get up many times. By working on a handstand, you will also learn to overcome certain frustrations and also certain fears, because obviously you will stand upside down in a handstand and there is the possibility to fall. And I've been working with many adults on a handstand. Most of them in the beginning are super scared of the handstand because there is this point of no return. You will fall and then you basically don't know what to do. And by learning a handstand and also learning directly how to fall properly, you will feel so much more secure, not only in a handstand but with your body in general, because exactly this competence of falling correctly, you can then transfer into many other physical realms. And both of these characteristics, the duration of a handstand, learning to deal with frustration, overcome plateaus, so on and so forth, and the possibility to learn to overcome certain fears, make a handstand a really nice project. And this is something that could be very beneficial in a movement practice because it keeps you motivated. There are definitely also aspects in it that could demotivate you. For example, if you're reaching a plateau and you just can't overcome it. But in general, having a project and really having something to work on and to put research in that and really informing yourself through taking online courses, through taking teachings, through taking seminars and something like that, to really dive into this topic. And by doing that, the topic will become meaningful for you. For example, for me, the handstand is not just something that I do, but it is a really meaningful thing. Yet another very cool aspect of a handstand practice is that it could basically serve you as a movement meditation, if you want to put it that, because you need to be super focused on what you're doing in the first stages. Later on, you can also definitely do other stuff, multitask while doing a handstand, but at first the handstand will use so much focus and you need to be super focused on what you're doing that it could be basically seen as a certain kind of movement meditation. And lastly, for me, one of the most useful or most beautiful aspects of a handstand practice, the handstand could be seen as a key to many other movement doors. For example, you're standing upside down and you, with the continuous practice, learn how to fall safely, you will feel much more secure. And this security you can later on use in other physical realms, such as in gymnastics or acrobatics. If you think of acrobatics, you're constantly throwing yourself in weird positions, and if you are already familiar with positions like these because you have already had some experience in handstand, you can directly make much more progress and enjoy this practice much more. And not only the aspect of the security will open new doors, but also because you're directly working on strength, you're working on the strength to support yourself really nicely, you're working on mobility. So by really focusing on a handstand practice, you open up new movement possibilities, mostly in your upper body and also in your core, that you can use in many other physical realms. But once again, let me tell you this, just because the handstand has this potential for change and opening up new doors and stuff like that, you do not need to learn a handstand. You can also learn all of these things, mobility, strength, also the fear of falling, by doing other stuff. But in general, the handstand combines just many nice characteristics into one single move, and therefore it has such a great potential. And there are many super skilled handstand teachers out there. There are many online programs out there that already exist that will teach you how to learn a handstand. The stuff that we created is just our try and our personal and unique way to learn a handstand. Beneath this video I will definitely post a list of some super nice handstand teachers that I know personally or had conversations with personally that I can recommend for you. So once again, this is not a try to convince you to buy our program, but to really think a little bit more about your choices, why you want to learn certain things, and then also think about the potential of learning certain things. So, to summarize and conclude this video, the handstand is a skill that is definitely worth practicing. It is a skill that can open up many new movement possibilities and doors to other physical disciplines, and also the handstand is absolutely fun to do. It is a real nice practice. Definitely there are setbacks involved, but in general it is a very fun practice. So I can definitely recommend implementing a handstand in your movement practice. But before you do so, really think about why you want to learn a handstand. Is it because you really feel it and you really feel the need to do that, or is it because you see so many other people out there doing a handstand, you have the urge of doing it for yourself so you don't miss out on something? And I think this is just a nice reflection to do before really deciding to jump into a handstand practice. Now, enjoy your handstands. Please look at all the different teachers that I will list below this video. Also check out our handstand program and see you in the future. Welcome to your 6 weeks Creating Balance Handstand online course.